In today's fast-paced world, we are constantly caught in a whirlwind of expectations and responsibilities. We try to change everything around us: work, family, friends, society, and sometimes even other people. But the truth is, there is very little in life that we can truly control. And those things that we can control often become the source of all the stress and anxiety we experience on a daily basis. You've probably found yourself in situations where you wanted everything to go your way, but could not change the outcome. Maybe you've tried to change someone else's actions, control what they think, do, or feel, only to end up frustrated when things didn't go according to your plan. But could it be that it's precisely these desires that trap us in a never-ending cycle of stress? This is where this book comes in. The let them theory is not a method for controlling other people or the world around you. Instead, it's a way to realize that by letting go of that control, you can actually feel freer and happier. You've probably heard the phrase, let them. It's a simple but powerful phrase. It's the way we let go of control and admit that we can't always change other people. You can't change how others think about you, you can't control their actions, and you can't make everything go exactly as you want. But what you can do is change how you react to those things. And that is what makes all the difference. Let them is a powerful tool that helps you stop and reconsider how you're living, what you're trying to control, and how you can start living in a more proactive way, free from the things you can't change. This method doesn't just help you free yourself from unnecessary burdens. It also opens up a path for you to focus on yourself. When you release control over things you can't change, you can shift your attention to what you can change: yourself. Imagine waking up one day and feeling more at peace, no longer stressed about what others think of you or the things you can't control. You'd feel lighter, freer, and more focused on the things that truly matter to you. That's what the let them theory can bring into your life. In this book, I'll guide you step by step on how to apply this theory to your life. Together, we'll explore how to recognize when you're trying to control others, how to shift your focus from things beyond your control to yourself, and how to live more proactively and happily. To get started, I want you to remember that in every situation where you feel stressed, frustrated, or anxious because of someone else's actions, you can apply two simple yet powerful questions: let them and let me. Let them and let me. This is the first step in beginning to change your life. Part 1. Let them go. The power of surrendering control. We live in a world where we are constantly fighting to control the outcomes of our lives. Whether it's the success of our career, the behavior of our friends and family, or how we are perceived by society, control is something we crave. But here's the hard truth. No matter how much we try to control the world around us, there is a limit to what we can change. And this is where our stress, frustration, and anxiety often stem from. We cannot control everything, yet we continuously try. In this first part of the let them theory, I want to introduce you to the idea that the more we try to control things beyond our power, the more we hurt ourselves. We become trapped in a cycle of stress, guilt, and unfulfilled expectations. But what if I told you that the secret to feeling less stressed and more empowered lies in letting go of control? This concept, while simple, has the potential to be life-changing. It is not about being passive or giving up. It is about recognizing what is beyond our control and learning how to let go of the desire to control it. When we stop trying to control everything around us, we open up space to live more freely and authentically. Why do we try to control everything? At the core of this problem lies a deep-seated fear. We are afraid of the unknown, afraid of what might happen if we don't take charge. This fear is driven by the need to feel safe, to feel like we have a firm grip on our lives. Control feels like security. But in reality, the more we try to control, the more we start to feel anxious and overwhelmed. This need for control often manifests in our relationships, in our work, and in how we see ourselves. We obsess over the things we cannot change and waste our energy fighting against them. We worry about how others perceive us, what they think, and how they act. We try to manipulate situations, bend people to our will, and push for results that aren't in our power to achieve. But despite our best efforts, the outcome is often out of our hands. The cost of control. What happens when we focus too much on control? We start to experience a range of negative emotions: frustration, anger, resentment, and exhaustion. Our mental and emotional resources are drained because we are constantly battling against things that are beyond our influence. We lose sight of the present moment and become consumed with what might happen next. We stop enjoying life because we are too focused on making sure things go exactly as we want them to. In relationships, this desire for control can cause friction. We may find ourselves trying to change others, pushing them to act or think in a way that suits our desires. But, as we all know, trying to control someone else is not only exhausting, but it's also impossible. People have their own thoughts, desires, and actions that are beyond our ability to alter. This need to control others often leads to frustration and disappointment, because no matter how hard we try, we can't make others think or act the way we want them to. The power of letting go. This is where the first principle of the let them theory comes into play. Let them go. The art of letting go is not about being passive or complacent, but about recognizing when to step back and release the need to control. When we let go of the desire to control everything, we stop fighting against the current and allow ourselves to flow with life. Letting go means accepting that we cannot change everything, and more importantly, we don't need to. It's about understanding that people will do what they will do, and we cannot make them behave in a certain way no matter how hard we try. This is one of the hardest lessons to learn, but it is also one of the most freeing. Letting go allows us to focus on the things we can control: our actions, our responses, and our attitudes. It allows us to accept what is, rather than constantly fighting against what isn't. When we stop trying to change the things we cannot control, we can finally free ourselves from the burden of unrealistic expectations. Letting go in action. The process of letting go begins with awareness. We need to become aware of the moments in our life where we are trying to control things outside our influence. Pay attention to the times when you feel anxious or frustrated. Are these feelings rooted in a situation where you are attempting to control something that is out of your hands? If so, it's time to stop and let go. Once we recognize the things we can't control, we can practice the act of releasing our grip. This might involve consciously choosing to stop worrying about what others think of us or letting go of our expectations for how things should turn out. It's about being okay with uncertainty and accepting that life will unfold the way it is meant to, whether or not it fits our vision. This practice of letting go takes time and patience. It's not something that happens overnight. But the more we practice, the more we begin to feel the weight lift off our shoulders. We no longer feel the need to manipulate the world around us. Instead, we start living in a way that is more authentic, more in line with who we truly are. The role of trust. At the core of letting go is trust. Trust that things will work out, even if it's not in the way we imagined. Trust that the universe, fate, or life itself has a plan for us, and that we are not in control of every single detail. It's trusting that, in the end, things will be okay. Trust is a critical part of letting go. It's the belief that by releasing the need to control, we are not abandoning our desires, but rather opening ourselves up to new possibilities. Trust allows us to step into the unknown with faith that we are on the right path. The freedom of letting them be. When we let go of control, we create space for freedom. We allow ourselves to experience life as it is, without the burden of constant worry and stress. We no longer feel tied to outcomes or results. Instead, we live more fully in the present, enjoying the journey rather than obsessing over the destination. Letting them be, letting others be who they are, is one of the most liberating things we can do for ourselves. By releasing our desire to control people and situations, we free ourselves from the constant cycle of disappointment and frustration. We learn to accept the world as it is, and in doing so, we create a more peaceful and fulfilling life. Part 2. The Let Them Shift, Shifting Your Mindset for Freedom. In the previous part, we explored the importance of releasing control and the deep freedom that comes with letting go. The act of letting them go can feel incredibly liberating, but the truth is, the hardest part isn't always letting go. It's shifting our mindset to truly accept that we are not in control. This shift in mindset is what I call the let them shift. The let them shift isn't just about stepping back from trying to control others. It's about recalibrating the way we approach every aspect of our lives. It's about changing the lens through which we view ourselves and the world around us. The truth is, letting go of control isn't easy. It requires a deep and intentional shift in how we think about life, relationships, and our own role in the world. But once we make that shift, everything changes. The mindset of control. Before we dive into the shift, let's take a closer look at the mindset of control. It's crucial to understand how this mindset works and why it holds us back. The mindset of control is based on fear. It's rooted in a belief that if we don't control everything, something bad will happen. If we don't control our work, we may not get promoted. If we don't control our relationships, they may fall apart. If we don't control how people view us, we risk being judged or rejected. This mindset stems from our natural instinct to protect ourselves, our sense of security, and our emotional well-being. But when this need to control becomes all-consuming, it begins to limit our potential. The more we try to control, the more we feel stressed, anxious, and disconnected from the flow of life. The Let Them shift is about recognizing that we don't have to control everything in order to feel secure. In fact, trying to control everything is what often makes us feel insecure. The power of perspective. The first step in the Let Them shift is changing our perspective. We need to stop viewing life as something we have to control and start seeing it as something we experience. Life isn't a series of events that need to be manipulated. It's a series of moments that need to be embraced. When we shift from a mindset of control to a mindset of experience, we stop feeling like we are constantly fighting against life. Instead, we start moving with it, trusting that everything will unfold as it should. This shift is powerful because it changes the way we approach every situation. For example, instead of trying to control the outcome of a meeting at work, we can focus on showing up as our best selves and being open to whatever happens. Instead of trying to control how our friends or family members behave, we can focus on being supportive and understanding, letting them be who they are. This shift takes the pressure off and allows us to be present in each moment, without the constant worry of trying to manipulate the future. Accepting imperfection. A key part of the Let Them shift is learning to accept imperfection. Our desire for control often stems from a belief that things have to be perfect in order for us to feel good about them. We want everything to go according to plan, and we become frustrated when things don't unfold the way we expect. But here's the truth. Life is messy. People are messy. And the more we try to make everything perfect, the more we miss out on the beauty that comes from imperfection. When we shift our mindset from perfection to acceptance, we free ourselves from the tyranny of control. We stop expecting everything to go our way and begin to appreciate life for what it is: unpredictable, challenging, and often beautiful in its messiness. This shift allows us to let go of the need for perfection and embrace life as it is. The role of trust in the Let Them shift. Trust is essential in the Let Them shift. When we trust that things will work out, even if they don't go as planned, we are able to release our need to control. Trust is the belief that the universe, fate, or life itself has a plan for us, even if we can't see it yet. This trust is what allows us to step back from trying to manipulate every situation and simply allow things to unfold. When we trust that everything is happening for a reason, even the difficult moments, we free ourselves from the need to control the outcome. We start to see the beauty in the process, rather than fixating on the end result. Trust doesn't mean passivity. It means having the faith to act without knowing exactly how things will turn out, and being okay with that uncertainty. Trust means embracing the unknown and believing that we are exactly where we need to be, even when it doesn't feel that way. Building the Let Them shift. So, how do we begin to build this Let Them shift? It starts with awareness. The first step is recognizing when we are trying to control something that is beyond our reach. Pay attention to moments when you feel tense or anxious. Are you trying to manipulate or control the situation? Are you obsessed with how things should be, rather than accepting how they are? Once we become aware of these moments, we can practice shifting our mindset. This might mean consciously choosing to let go of the need to control a situation, or it might involve taking a step back and reframing the way we view the circumstances. For example, if you're dealing with a difficult situation at work, instead of trying to control the outcome, focus on what you can do in the moment to be your best self. Trust that whatever happens is part of the larger picture, and release the need to control the end result. Building the Let Them shift is a daily practice. It's not something that happens overnight, but with time and consistency, it becomes a natural part of our mindset. The more we practice letting go, the more we begin to experience life in a more fluid, less stressful way. Living with ease. Ultimately, the Let Them shift is about living with ease. It's about letting go of the struggle to control everything and learning to move with the flow of life. When we let go of the need to control, we make room for joy, freedom, and peace. Life becomes less about fighting for control and more about being present, being open, and being authentic. This doesn't mean we become passive or complacent. It means we choose to show up fully in each moment, without the weight of trying to control every aspect of our lives. We let go of the need to control how others behave, how things turn out, and how the world should be. Instead, we focus on what we can control: our own actions, our own responses, and our own mindset. The let them shift is the key to living with more ease and less stress. It's about accepting that we don't have to control everything, and that we are enough just as we are. By embracing this shift, we open ourselves up to a life that is more fulfilling, more authentic, and far less stressful. The freedom to let them be. In the end, the let them shift is about giving ourselves the freedom to live without the burden of trying to control everything. We let others be who they are. We let life unfold as it will. And we stop carrying the heavy load of perfectionism and fear. This shift allows us to stop fighting against the current and start living with it. It's about finding peace in the present moment and trusting that everything is happening just as it's meant to. Letting go of control is the key to living a life that is less stressful, more authentic, and filled with ease. Part 3. The Let Them Practice: Practical Strategies for Applying the Shift. Having discussed the underlying principles of letting go and shifting your mindset in the first two parts, we now dive into practical strategies for implementing the Let Them Shift in your daily life. It's one thing to understand the concept of letting go, but it's another thing entirely to put it into practice. This section will give you actionable steps and techniques to truly incorporate the Let Them Shift into your routine, relationships, and work. It's time to put theory into action. 1. Practice mindful awareness. The first step to implementing the Let Them Shift is developing mindful awareness. This is the foundation upon which all other strategies will be built. You need to become keenly aware of when you're trying to control a situation or a person. Mindfulness helps you tune into your thoughts and emotions, which is crucial for identifying the moments where you're holding on too tightly. Start by paying attention to the signs of stress or tension in your body. Are you clenching your fists? Holding your breath? These physical indicators are often the first signals that you're slipping into control mode. Once you recognize these signs, you can take a step back and intentionally choose to let go. Mindful awareness isn't just about noticing when you're trying to control, but also about being aware of the thoughts that accompany these moments. Are you thinking, if I don't do this, everything will fall apart? These thoughts are what fuel your need to control. By becoming aware of these patterns, you can begin to challenge and shift them. 2. Let go of the need to be right. One of the most common ways we try to control is through the need to be right. We often hold onto our perspectives, refusing to entertain other viewpoints, because we believe that being right equals security. This is especially common in relationships, whether in our personal lives or at work. We fight to prove that our way is the best way because we fear that being wrong means failure or loss of control. Letting go of the need to be right requires humility and openness. It means embracing the fact that your way is not the only way. It's about being willing to accept that there is value in other perspectives and that being open to learning is more important than always being right. One way to practice this is by actively seeking out differing opinions, especially when you're in a situation where you're tempted to assert your viewpoint. Rather than trying to convince someone you're right, practice asking questions and listening with the intent to understand, not to defend. 3. Create boundaries with love, not control. Creating boundaries is a key part of the Let Them Shift, but it's important to understand the difference between healthy boundaries and controlling behavior. Boundaries are about knowing what you are and are not willing to accept, and clearly communicating that to others. It's a way of taking care of yourself without trying to control others. However, boundaries should come from a place of love, not fear. Often, when we feel the need to control, it's because we fear that others won't respect us or that we'll be taken advantage of. But healthy boundaries are about respecting both yourself and the other person. They are about knowing that you have the right to say no without feeling guilty and allowing others the same freedom. A good example of this in practice is setting boundaries around your time. You might have a friend who frequently calls you during work hours, disrupting your focus. Rather than controlling the situation by getting frustrated or annoyed, you can set a boundary by saying, "I'm happy to talk, but I can only take calls after 6 p.m. This is a loving, respectful way to manage your time, without exerting control over the other person. 4. Practice surrender. Trust the process. Surrendering is often misunderstood as giving up or being passive. In reality, surrendering is one of the most powerful actions you can take. It means releasing the need to micromanage every outcome and trusting that the universe, or life, will unfold as it should. Surrendering doesn't mean you stop trying or working toward your goals. It means you stop trying to control every single detail. It's about letting go of the need to have everything mapped out perfectly. When you surrender, you allow yourself to be more flexible and open to unexpected opportunities. A great way to practice surrender is by letting go of the outcome. For example, if you're applying for a new job, do your best in the interview, but once it's over, stop obsessing over it. Trust that if the job is meant for you, it will come. If it's not, then something better is waiting. This mindset shift helps you stop stressing over things that are beyond your control. 5. Focus on your actions, not others' reactions. A big part of the let them shift is focusing on what you can control, your own actions, rather than trying to control others' reactions. We often try to control how others feel about us or how they respond to us, but this is an exhausting and futile task. People will react based on their own experiences, beliefs, and emotional states, and we cannot dictate that. The key is to focus on your own behavior and responses. How do you show up in the world? Are you living in alignment with your values? Are you being authentic in your interactions? When you focus on what you can control, your own actions, you free yourself from the burden of trying to control how others perceive you or respond to you. This doesn't mean that you ignore others' feelings, but rather that you no longer take their reactions personally. Instead of worrying about how someone will respond to your feedback at work, focus on how you can communicate effectively and with kindness. Let go of the need to control how others feel and put your energy into the way you choose to act. 6. Embrace imperfection. Let go of perfectionism. Perfectionism is a trap that holds many of us back from making progress. We often think that if we don't do things perfectly, we'll fail or that others will judge us. But perfectionism is rooted in the belief that we must control every detail, and it leads to stress, burnout, and dissatisfaction. The let them shift involves embracing imperfection. It's about acknowledging that no one is perfect, and that mistakes are part of the process. Life is a messy, unpredictable journey, and when we let go of the need to be perfect, we can actually enjoy the ride. Start by taking small steps to embrace imperfection. For example, if you're working on a project and find yourself obsessing over the smallest details, remind yourself that done is better than perfect. Allow yourself to make mistakes and learn from them. This will help you move forward more confidently, without the fear of failure holding you back. 7. Cultivate patience and let time work for you. Patience is another essential component of the let them shift. We live in a world that values speed and instant results, but true growth takes time. Trying to rush through life or forcing things to happen quickly is a form of control that often leads to frustration and burnout. Patience allows you to trust the process and trust that things will unfold as they should. It gives you the space to allow things to evolve naturally, without forcing outcomes. Patience isn't about waiting idly. It's about working at your own pace and understanding that everything in life has its own timing. Cultivate patience by practicing delayed gratification. Instead of constantly seeking immediate results or instant pleasure, learn to enjoy the process of growth. Focus on your long-term goals, and trust that, in time, everything will fall into place. Conclusion of Part 3. Implementing the let them shift is not an overnight process. It requires consistent practice, self-awareness, and a willingness to let go of control. However, with time, these practices will become second nature. By focusing on your actions, trusting the process, and embracing imperfection, you'll find that life becomes far more fulfilling and far less stressful. The key to this shift is simple. Focus on what you can control, your thoughts, actions, and responses, and release everything else. As you continue to integrate these practices into your life, you will experience the freedom and peace that come from no longer fighting to control everything around you. The let them shift is about creating a life that feels authentic, fulfilling, and free. Part 4. The let them experience. Transforming your life with a shift. Now that we've discussed the foundations and practical strategies for letting go, it's time to explore how embracing the let them shift can completely transform your life. The power of this shift is not just about changing your mindset or implementing new strategies. It's about creating an entirely new way of being that aligns with your most authentic self. This section will explore the deeper, more transformative aspects of the Let Them Shift and how it can lead to profound changes in your emotional, mental, and physical well-being. 1. The emotional liberation of letting go. One of the most significant changes you'll experience as you implement the Let Them Shift is emotional liberation. We often carry around emotional baggage, whether from past relationships, mistakes, or societal pressures. This emotional weight can hold us back, preventing us from living freely and fully. Letting go of the need to control everything allows you to release this baggage. As you stop trying to control outcomes and other people, you also stop internalizing emotions like fear, resentment, and guilt. The result is a profound sense of freedom. You may begin to notice that you feel lighter, less anxious, and more connected to your true feelings. This emotional liberation can help you be more present in the moment, improving your relationships, your work, and your personal satisfaction. 2. Building resilience through letting go. One of the common misconceptions about letting go is that it makes us weak or passive. In fact, letting go is an incredibly empowering act. When you stop trying to control everything, you open yourself up to the possibility of growth and learning. You stop fighting against the inevitable challenges of life and, instead, you learn to flow with them. Resilience comes not from avoiding difficulty, but from learning how to cope with it effectively. By letting go of the need to control, you cultivate emotional resilience. You become more adaptable and able to face adversity without falling into despair or frustration. Rather than seeing challenges as threats, you start to view them as opportunities to strengthen your resilience. With the Let Them Shift, you become more able to handle stress, disappointment, and unexpected changes without losing your balance. 3. Releasing the fear of failure. The fear of failure is one of the most paralyzing emotions we experience, and it's deeply rooted in the need to control outcomes. When we fear failure, we try to control every situation to ensure the best possible result. However, this fear often keeps us from taking risks and trying new things, which are essential for growth and success. The Let Them Shift allows you to release the fear of failure by changing how you view mistakes and setbacks. Failure is not something to avoid, but something to learn from. Letting go means accepting that not everything will go according to plan, and that's okay. Once you shift your perspective, you'll find that failure becomes less daunting. Instead of seeing it as a reflection of your worth or ability, you'll see it as an inevitable part of the learning process. With this mindset, you become more willing to take risks and pursue your goals without the crippling fear of failure. 4. Creating healthy, empowered relationships. Letting go is essential for building healthy relationships. Whether with family, friends, or romantic partners, relationships are often strained by control, whether it's trying to change others or expecting them to behave in ways that align with your desires. The Let Them Shift is about giving others the space to be themselves. It's about letting go of the need to mold or manipulate people to fit your idea of who they should be. By embracing this shift, you create a foundation of trust and respect. In relationships, letting go doesn't mean disengaging or being passive. It means giving the other person the autonomy to grow and express themselves authentically. It means trusting them to make their own choices and respecting their journey, just as you would want them to respect yours. 5. Harnessing the power of vulnerability. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but in reality, it's one of the most powerful tools we have for building deep connections and creating meaningful change. When we let go of the need to control, we also let go of the walls we build to protect ourselves from being hurt. Allowing ourselves to be vulnerable opens us up to a deeper connection with others and with ourselves. It allows us to show up authentically, without fear of judgment or rejection. Vulnerability is a key component of emotional intelligence and plays a significant role in the Let Them Shift. Through vulnerability, we create the space for genuine intimacy, creativity, and growth. When we stop trying to protect ourselves from potential pain, we allow ourselves to fully experience the joy and connection that life has to offer. 6. Physical transformation through letting go. The emotional and mental shifts that come with the Let Them Shift can also lead to profound physical transformations. When we let go of stress, anxiety, and the need to control, we reduce the toll that these emotions take on our bodies. The result is improved physical health. Chronic stress is known to contribute to a variety of physical ailments, including heart disease, high blood pressure, and digestive issues. By practicing the Let Them Shift, you reduce the impact of stress on your body. As a result, you may notice better sleep, increased energy, and improved overall well-being. Additionally, letting go of control helps you become more in tune with your body's needs. You start to make healthier choices, listen to your body's signals, and prioritize self-care. This leads to a stronger, more resilient body that is better equipped to handle the challenges life throws your way. 7. Cultivating inner peace. The ultimate goal of the Let Them Shift is inner peace. When you stop fighting against life and trying to control every detail, you create space for peace and contentment. Inner peace comes when you accept life as it is, imperfections, challenges, and all. Through the shift, you learn to trust that everything is unfolding as it should. You let go of the need to force outcomes and instead cultivate a sense of trust and calm. This inner peace allows you to navigate life with grace, even in the face of adversity. By letting go of the need for control, you open yourself up to the beauty of life as it is. You start to appreciate the small moments, the imperfections, and the unpredictability that make life rich and full. Inner peace is not about avoiding difficulties, but about learning to find calm within the storm. 8. Living authentically. The most profound transformation that comes with a Let Them Shift is the ability to live authentically. When we stop trying to control how others see us and let go of the need to fit into societal expectations, we can truly embrace who we are. Living authentically means letting go of the masks we wear to protect ourselves from judgment. It means embracing our true selves, including our flaws, strengths, and unique qualities. When we live authentically, we experience greater joy, fulfillment, and connection with others. The Let Them Shift is ultimately about finding the courage to live in alignment with our true purpose, values, and desires. It's about letting go of the stories we tell ourselves about who we should be and embracing who we are meant to become. Conclusion of Part 4. As you continue to embrace the Let Them Shift, you'll experience a transformation that extends far beyond just your mindset. By letting go of the need to control, you free yourself from emotional, mental, and physical burdens. You create space for growth, resilience, and authentic connections. Most importantly, you cultivate a deep sense of inner peace and the freedom to live a life that is truly your own. This shift isn't about making drastic changes overnight. It's about making small, consistent adjustments that lead to a profound change in how you experience the world. By choosing to let go, you create a life that feels more authentic, fulfilling, and empowered. In the following sections, we will explore the specific outcomes of embracing the Let Them Shift and how it can help you achieve lasting success, happiness, and peace. Get ready to continue your journey of transformation. In conclusion, the journey of the Let Them Shift is an ongoing adventure, where you can transform yourself from within and create a life full of meaning and freedom. We can't control everything in life, but we can control how we respond to it. When you let go of the need to control and stop worrying about what you can't change, you'll realize that true happiness and success come from releasing and trusting in yourself. This book is just the beginning, and each step on the Let Them Shift journey will lead you to a life that's freer, stronger, and more confident. Remember, the power to change starts with you. I wish you the best as you uncover the true power within yourself and build the life you truly deserve. Call to action. If you found this book inspiring and want to continue your personal development journey, don't forget to hit subscribe, like, and follow to receive more valuable content and strategies. Let's share our success stories with the community so that each of us can let them shift in our own way.